thought I'd leave that gizmo on my helmet so you guys could see how... Hey guys, welcome to episode number 2. Today we are going to go over pivot turns. It's actually one of my favorite things to do, and I've had quite a few requests to do this one, so yeah, let's get started. So when you guys are first learning pivot turns, I think the best advice I can give you guys is to just practice with your clutch and throttle. I don't know if you saw episode 1, you should probably go back and watch that, and you should have a few of the basics down, your clutch and throttle control, because that really, to initiate a pivot turn, that's what you need, is clutch and throttle control. And what I like to do is I like to give it, if you compress your front forks, then the springs inside are going to rebound. So that's kind of what helps you loft the, I guess you could say, loft the wheel in the air. And then you catch it at the top of the rebound with the clutch and the throttle. So it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, rebound, clutch, throttle. And then once you get up to your pivot point, you might want to cover the rear brake because that keeps you from going over backwards. Just practice by compressing the forks and popping the clutch, not all the way out, but just enough to get the front wheel in the air, the clutch and the throttle. And just practice getting the front wheel a little bit off the ground, and you can practice planting it in different places just till you feel comfortable using these two together. So here, let me show you what I mean. So remind yourself like this, think 1, 2, 3, and there's actually 4. Rebound, clutch, throttle, brake. But don't worry about the brake, number 4, don't worry about that quite yet. Just worry about getting it up there, and then try and get a bit of a pivot going. So I'll slow it down here, and we'll just go through 1, 2, and 3. I thought I'd leave that gizmo on my helmet so you guys could see how I was just getting those shots there with from up above. I've never used that thing before. Here, check it out. It's pretty cool. I'm using my new camera, by the way, so the quality should be awesome. But anyways, that's some of the basics. That's some of the basics of pivot turns. I think what we're going to do next is, I think we're going to head into one of my wicked single tracks. And we're going to try and find some real world applications, like why we do that. I mean, I know most of us do it to show off to our friends, but why the pros do it, is, well, there's probably a dozen reasons. Some say it saves energy when you're turning around. I think personally for myself, the reason I do them is, you know, if you get up against a wet log, or, you know, you're in a sticky situation and it's just, you got to loft that front tire in the air to get up over a log or something like that. So we'll head into the trail and see if we can find a scenario, and I'll show you why you might want to do that other than showing off to your friends. So here's a scenario. I'll show you guys what I come across because I'm in Canada. We got tons of trees. So this is the type of a scenario where a pivot turn's going to help you. And I'll show you what I mean. See, that's the type of scenario there. If you're going over a tree and maybe you miss it with the front tire or you don't quite get over, then you can just recover with doing like a half a pivot turn, I guess. Same concept. So here's another scenario, you guys. I backed myself against the bank here. I guess the trail ends, or for whatever reason. And I just popped like maybe a quarter pivot turn or half pivot turn. And it was clockwise too, so I didn't even realize I did it. So that's a perfect example of why you would want to do that. And it's clockwise too. I see a lot of guys on the internet giving instructions, but they're always going counterclockwise to the left. I guess it's so you can get at the brake with your right foot, but there's a lot of scenarios where it works clockwise as well, and I'll show you one right now. See, that's a really good example of where you can use your rebound clutch and your throttle and just, I guess, make quarter turns till you get to where you want to be. All you're really doing is changing direction. That's the whole point of the pivot turn, is to change direction and look like you know what you're doing. So here's a really good example, kind of like the last log we crossed over there on an angle, but this one's suspended. And there's a lot of situations I'll do this. Like, say you don't want to cross it normally just because you don't want to, maybe it intimidates you a little bit, or you don't want to go over the bars. Or maybe there's just a whole lot of debris, you know, and stuff on the other side, and it's just too sketchy to go fast. I'll show you how you can use the pivot turn, and you can pivot turn onto it and kind of land on your skid plate and then just push off with your feet. It looks a little tricky, but once you get the pivot turned down, it's not. And you start with your leg up on the log. I'll show you what I mean. So I actually found a little bit of snow. Or there's the good old-fashioned way. You can also do them on the side of a hill if you're confident after you learn them. That's kind of an off camber, so that's a little bit more tricky. That's almost a foot plant. Like if you remember, BMX guys used to go off the ramp and at the top they'd do a foot plant. Well, that's kind of the same idea. That's more of a stunt. I'll show you what I mean. Well, thanks for watching, you guys. That's going to wrap up the Pivot Turn episode 2. I'd just like to thank the folks that contributed to my Patreon. That really means a lot. That's helping me get towards my end goal, which is to do this full time. But I'm a little ways away from that yet. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys leave comments, because that's really helping me. It'll help me improve the series when I get your feedback. I really got a lot of comments in the last video, and that really helps. And a thumbs up too, that's definitely letting me know that things are going good. So make sure you drop a comment, hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, make sure and do so, because I'm going to have a ton of videos coming out in the next little while. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys.